Amazon tries to own the books domain. The Hue API is now out for developers, and much more on today's iWake. It is Tuesday, March 12th, 2013, and I'm Tim Chaten. So welcome to today's episode of iWake. There is some stuff going on in the Apple world, not a bunch, but let's get to what is going on. First off is a tip I just wanted to share, and I thought it was an interesting thing that I was at my desk today standing, and I needed to scroll through some information, and it was an interesting thing that I picked up the Magic Mouse and was able to just simply scroll with one finger holding it, and it worked quite nicely. So if you need just a scrolling device, a Magic Mouse with its touch sensitive area is a great option for those that need that. Next up is Marvel. So Marvel is doing some cool things. First off, they're having their subscription service, and now they're releasing or have released 700 first issue comics through its Marvel Comics iOS app and web store. So, according to Marvel, this is the perfect way to show everyone how much we believe in the first in our material by letting them try the first issues for free, because we're sure once they start, they won't stop. So they are really committed to this market, this digital market in particular, by giving away these comic books. So the first issue of each comic book can be downloaded for free, a significant discount from the standard $2 to $4 price tag. So Marvel's sale began on Sunday night and will last through Tuesday 11 p.m. The comics can be downloaded via the web or through the Marvel Comics app. I am rather sad that this isn't a permanent change, as I think that would be great to get everyone into a comic and try it out, but that's not the case. Next up, Lucasfilm has made it official that the Clone Wars will be wrapping up. The Clone Wars is a comic, a cartoon, I should say, by Lucasfilm. It's been airing on Cartoon Network for several years now, and they're making a shift in direction. So it's basically they're going to wrap up all these storylines and finish off this series. And this is after 5 seasons. So the studio will no longer be producing new episodes of the animated series. And the decision comes following a landmark deal between George Lucas and Disney, of course, as many of you know. I will be curious to see, will they come out with different animated series? What is the future of this? They're also postponing Star Wars Detours, a comedy series. So more information here on the Star Wars website. Very interesting news that they're actually stopping this series. So next up today is that of Apple. They have released for Japan users an update to the maps, and they did this without any software update. This is all over the air. So if you are in Japan, you now have improved pronunciation of roads for turn by turn. You have optimized directions that prefers highways over narrow roads, and much, much more. So great news there. Apple pushing out a maps update for Japan users. Next up, I just want to briefly mention that Google has updated the mobile apps, so the web apps for Gmail, and it's basically adds improved calendar support for searching through that. It does take a hint from what the iOS apps actually do. So those came first, and now the web apps are available. And next up today, Apple's Twitter account for the iBookstore. I love the iBookstore, as many of you know. And they tweeted out the following: "Let me suck a blank and tell you how much I love introspective novels." So this was retweeted by the iBookstore. This is kind of pretty crazy, as Apple doesn't really tweet out profanity and sexually explicit content like that. So kind of crazy there. But anyways, just something of note, I should say. Next up today is a really, really interesting thing that you need to go to on your computer. View this image. This is an early iOS prototype in kind of the beginning of the platform for iOS. It shows this biggish screen, kind of like an iPad screen, several inches thick. It looks like a 5-6 inch thick device, and very much just a prototype of this. Ars Technica has their hands on this. I'm not sure if it runs or anything. It's 8.6 inch display, similar to the iPad, and not unbelievable that this is actually what they say it to be. As Steve Jobs said, that they started with the iPad and that they decided to start with the phone after that. So very, very interesting things. The chip inside is a Samsung, clocked at 200 to 233 megahertz. The original iPhone was 620 megahertz. So there is some interesting details here and something I would definitely encourage you to take a look at. Next up today is the TiVo Mini. So many of you people may love the TiVo. Well, there's good news. There's a $99 or $99.99 TiVo. It's available with a $6 monthly subscription. I'm not sure what that is compared to other things. But if you want this little tiny TiVo, you can get that now. So let me just put it this way. This is a really cool device that you get the TiVo interface. You get all those wonderful things. There's also something that I would encourage you to do is if you're getting this, pay upfront $150, and then you don't have to deal with that $6 monthly subscription fee. So for $250, you own the device and you have access to this TiVo service. The Verge did a full-out review on this, and overall very favorable. So if you're looking for a DVR, the TiVo Mini, I think, is going to be the go-to model for most people, I'd say. That I'm not a DVR person. I don't even have cable. But if you are one of those people that need DVR, really do check out this TiVo Mini. Very cool news there. Last up today, or second last up today, is that of Hue. So Hue now has the Hue lights now have an official API. So for those that don't know, Philips Hue are really cool light bulbs. I've got one sitting behind me on the video version here, and you're able to control lights and timing and all of that through your iPhone. And there's several third-party apps out for it, around 10 to 15 or so. But now the floodgates have just opened crazily so because there is an official API out for developers. If you want to get more information, it's linked to in the show notes. But if you simply go to developers.meethue.com, you can get all the info for yourself. So very cool news. I hope this encourages a landslide of new awesome apps for my light bulbs. So this is pretty awesome. Last of the day is some disagreements I might have with Amazon and others may have with Amazon. Amazon has applied for the .book domain, and the part that really irks me is Amazon has no plans to sell subdomains of .book, instead opting for strict control to use it in pursuit of the company's business goals. So just like I can buy a .com domain, you won't be able to buy a .book domain if Amazon possesses ownership. Now, this is very, very onerous and being, of course, yelled at by a bunch of industry people. I myself would love to have an iPod Evolution .book domain, but if Amazon owns this, I won't be able to do that. Authors won't be able to get domain names. This will all be for the purpose of Amazon Kindle, Amazon physical books, and things of that sort. This is a closed web and a bad web. So I hope to see Amazon denied of this and that this .book domain is available for everyone to buy for their own use and not Amazon's use. So anyways, That is the show for today. You can find the show notes at iWakePodcast.com. I do a video version at youtube.com/TCHATEN. And I have books available in the iBook store. Search for Tim Chaten. Search for iPod Evolution. Search for Poetry with Video. Search for The Working Homeless. They are all out there in the iBook store. And with that, thank you for tuning in to today's show. I will talk to everyone again tomorrow for another edition of iWake.